Hello, everyone, and welcome to this video series with New Indian Express. Today, I have a legendary literary figure with us of the modern age, Amish Tripathi himself. And we're not here to speak about any of his books. We're actually here to talk about his latest and perhaps most exciting venture, which is a TV show, a docu-series with Discovery Plus called The Legend of Ramayana with Amish. And believe me, you've got to see it. It just dropped on April 7th, and I highly encourage you to watch it if you've not already seen it. Okay, everyone, welcome Amish. Thank you for being with us today. Let me quickly run the audience. Of course, everybody knows you, but I'm sure they'd like to know a little bit more about you. So apart from being a best-selling author, of course, Amish is a diplomat and a columnist, and he took over as the director of the Nehru Center in London in October 2019. He was listed among the 50 most powerful Indians by India Today magazine in 2019. Forbes India has regularly ranked Amish among the top 100 most influential celebrities in India. And he was also selected as an Eisenhower Fellow, a prestigious American program for outstanding leaders from around the world in 2014. Amish published his first book in 2010 and has written 7 books till date. And of course, with his new show on Discovery Plus, The Legends of Ramayana with Amish, he has also forayed onto the screen. So welcome, Amish. We know that you are the ideal person for this a show of this nature, but we're actually very curious to know how this collaboration with Discovery Plus came about and how was the experience of working with them?
No, the credit for this should actually go to Discovery and Wide Angle Films. They're the ones who developed this. So Wide Angle Films, Sujata and Abhimanyu, they're the directors of the show as well. Brilliant guys, brilliant people. They developed this, and then Discovery and Wide Angle Films worked together on this for a year. So by the time it came to me, it was already pretty well baked. I was told apparently I was their first choice for this, which was a brave move because I'd never done something like this ever. But when my team was contacted, because this is right up my alley, I'd love to do something like this, but it was obviously something I'd never done before. But I like doing, putting myself in uncomfortable situations because that's how you grow, right? So I was a banker for 14 years. When I moved into writing, I had no idea about the publishing industry, and then was a full-time writer for 10 years. I still continue to write, but when I moved into government service, it's the first time I worked in the government service. I was always a private sector guy. It was, of course, again, very uncomfortable for the first few months, but then I grew. And this was also at the beginning, of course, in the first few days, it was uncomfortable because frankly, I had no idea what I was doing. But I think overall it was great fun, and I've been told it's come out well. So I guess maybe another area for me to grow in.
Oh, absolutely. I think, as we progress, I will ask you about that because you seem to be a natural when it came to being on screen. Okay, so, the 3-part docuseries explores many themes, obviously focusing on the legend, but, you've utilized a lot of scientific evidence collected through geological experts, as well as historians, writers. There's even a little bit of pop culture sort of thrown in. How did you do this extensive research, and how did you put it all together in this very interesting story format?
No, the credit for that must go to the Discovery team and Wide Angle. So the creative head, Sai, led by Megha, who's the MD of Discovery, and of course on the Wide Angle side, Sujata and Abhimanyu and their entire team. I think they did a wonderful job in the research, and what they did was they didn't just focus on the text. They also looked at folk traditions, which is what I think makes this this series that much richer. There's this lovely Sanskrit line, Shastrat Rudir Balyasi, that folk traditions are more important than the text. In India, unlike many other cultures, we've always given respect to popular culture, to what the common people believe. Texts are important, but we don't say common people are completely important. The only thing that matters is that one book or one text. We've always given respect to folk traditions as well. And this series, in a way, reflects Indian culture. Which is what will give aha moments to viewers, because there's no Indian who doesn't know the story of the Ramayana, right? There's this wonderful line, no Indian hears the Ramayana for the first time. We are born with it. It's a part of our genes, right? So we are familiar with the story. How do you surprise someone on a subject which they know of already, right? Which Indian does not know about the Ramayana? And that's what this series does so well, because it gives you insights and facets of the story that you didn't know. Like the Ramnami community in Chhattisgarh, who convert their bodies, literally their bodies, into temples. They tattoo the name of Ram all over their body, on their face. I mean, the devotion brings tears to your eyes. Then Kanak Bhavan in Ayodhya, which Queen Keikei had gifted to Lord Ram and Goddess Sita, or that Hampi, the capital of Vijayanagar, is ancient Kishkinda actually. So you get so many aha moments, and I think the credit has to go to Discovery and Wide Angle for doing this. I was just the chap reading lines on camera.
No, but obviously you added your bit, your personality shone through really well. Okay, so now this is personal to you. What was your biggest learning from the show? And did you come to any conclusions about it being a myth or a reality? Because those are the kind of questions you have raised in the show.
Sure. So let me answer at two levels. One, do I believe it's reality or not? So even before the show, and I've answered this question earlier. Yeah, of course, I believe that the Ramayana happened. I believe that Lord Ram and Goddess Sita existed. I believe they are our ancestors. I believe their blood flows in our veins. All Indians, regardless of religion, caste, region that we are in. And I actually feel inspired by that we have to be worthy of that blood. We have their blood in our veins. We have to be worthy of it. But I don't try and force that view on anyone else, because I haven't studied it to prove it. So if someone else doesn't want to believe it, their choice. But I believe that that the events of the Ramayana happened. There could have been some embellishments, of course, but embellishments happen in all history books. Herodotus, the father of Western history, he wrote that elephants. He wrote of elephants in India, and he wrote that the ears of the elephants were actually wings to fly. This is Herodotus, the father of history, right? And of course, we have to believe what the Europeans tell us, that if they say he's the father of history, then he has to be the father of history. So embellishments happen in all texts. Could have happened in the Ramayana as well, but I still believe those events happened. I believe that Lord Ram and Sita Ma did exist. I'll repeat again, I'm not forcing that view on anyone else. They don't want to believe it, their choice. And in terms of the learnings from the journey itself, Noor, I think the best way to answer this is, the crew was actually a multi-religious crew. We had Hindus, Buddhists, Muslims, Christians in our crew. And after a few days, it started hitting us. Yeah, we are walking on steps where Lord Ram would have probably walked, many thousands of years ago. Starts giving you a very special feeling, right? Very emotional in some ways. It's like you feel connected to your roots, to your ancestors. And the entire crew, like I said, multi-religious crew, used to, everyone used to end the day with Jai Shri Ram, or the cooler younger ones would say JSR, which is acronym for Jai Shri Ram. Very special feeling.
Kind of a pilgrimage of sorts, actually, the way you're describing
it. Yes. Discovery of our roots, discovery of our ancestors.
With Discovery Plus. Okay.
I like that line.
Okay, so coming to what you said, the fact that you loved being on screen, what are you working on next? Can we perhaps expect something on the Mahabharata from you?
Yeah, so I need to finish War of Lanka. Now, I'm talking about my books now. So once War of Lanka, the text is ready. Unfortunately, my publisher, Bestselling, as I'm sure you're aware, has shut down. It was owned by Amazon. It shut down. It happened very suddenly. My team is negotiating with other publishers. We should close we should have something signed soon. And then the manuscript is ready. Just the editing has to be done. So through you, if I may apologize to all my readers, I know there's a delay, but this time it's not my fault. The publisher shut down, to be fair to me. There are screen things also coming. Suhail Dev, my book, is being converted into a movie. I'm producing it myself through my company, Immortal Studios. In Mumbai, we've got two partners, Casa Media and Vakao Films. The film script is ready already, and you'll hear an announcement pretty soon. A big announcement on the Suhail Dev project is being converted into a movie. And the Shiva trilogy, you must have read that announcement. Roy Price, one of the top Hollywood producers, has optioned the Shiva trilogy to produce it. Shekhar Kapoor, Oscar-winning film director, is going to helm the project. And Supan Verma, the creator of Family Man, one of the biggest Indian OTT hits, is writing the series, and Shekhar will direct the first few episodes, and the subsequent episodes will be directed by Supan. So really is a very good kick-ass team. So lots of stuff happening. Yes.
Yeah, but nothing about in following up with this particular series that you've just done.
Oh, acha, me act. Yeah, I'm not so sure I'll be acting or anything, but a documentary, I kind of like this field actually. So I might, I do want to explore a few other ideas on documentaries. My team is working on it, so I like this actually. I'm enjoying this. Yeah, so they will. You'll hear some documentaries also coming.
Yeah. Good. I'm very glad, and I look forward to it because, like I said, this is quite an eye opener for me as well. The show, and I'm sure for many people of my generation. Let me
thank you. Unfortunately, more documentaries hosted by me will be inflicted on all of you.
Very glad. Looking forward. All right. So, a message for the audience in relation to the docuseries.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, because that's the thing we are speaking of. No, through you, if I may request all of you, to check out this wonderful documentary put together by Discovery and Wide Angle Films. I'm the host. It's a 3-episode documentary, and all of you would know the story of the Ramayana, but you'll discover so much more. You'll discover facets and secrets of the Ramayana that I'm betting many would not be aware of, because even I was stunned by some of the things that we discovered. It's a very, very well produced documentary, truly international class. Discovery has pulled out all stops. This is it would make us proud in that sense. We are seeing a documentary which is truly the international class, the kind of quality that would be there on Western subjects. You'll thoroughly enjoy it. It's great fun and it's educational at the same time.
Absolutely. And it's not religious one bit. It is very cultural, which is what is the most interesting aspect of it. I also, since we do have some time, would love to discuss with you, you've actually highlighted how certain characters were neither good nor bad. They're very gray. And that's the beauty of stories like this. For example, with the episode on Ravan, I thought that was fascinating. You've brought out certain aspects of his personality. Thank you so much, Amish, for your time.
Okay. Bye. Bye, Noor. Take care.